What's going on, guys and girls? It's Preston here today, and welcome to a new video. Today's gonna be a pretty fun video. I wanna go ahead and go over the top 5 mistakes that I see people make when they first get involved in fitness. This could be a teenager, just trying to bulk up for high school, or somebody, in like their late 40s who's joining the gym late. The top 5 things that I see people do, because, these are pretty big, and I think that you guys are gonna really enjoy hearing my take on them. But first, if you guys haven't yet, please smash the like button, guys. It helps out quite a lot. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know if you guys are excited for this video. Please subscribe. It would mean a lot to me if you guys could do that. And videos can sometimes go viral, so we're going to be trying to get this video out there more. And so also, if you guys can, be sure to share it around with your friends and family. All right, so now that we got all that out of the way, now it's time for the juicy stuff. So going in with these 5 mistakes, I'm gonna go ahead and start with number 1. And these honestly are going to be in order of importance for I actually do think that this is like the number 1 mistake that people make. Whether or not your goal is to shred, bulk, gain weight, lose weight, whatever your goal is, right? Get strong. This is like the number 1 thing, and is that people will compare themselves to others. So, you'll be at the gym and you'll see some guy over there who's squatting, 4 plates, and he's a year younger than you, or maybe he's the same age as you, or maybe he's even older. But for some reason, you're comparing yourself to that person, and therefore it's making you feel less than, and you're putting yourself down. It happens so much. I've done it myself. I know a lot of my clients have. I know plenty of my friends have. I know family members. It is so normal as humans for us to compare ourselves because we want to somehow get some kind of idea on how we are performing by looking at somebody else. Motivate yourself, but if you, that's a positive way of looking at it, but most people don't use it in a positive manner. They just feel like crap and they compare themselves to others, and their whole journey is dictated off of why they're not as good as somebody else. And even then, it's not about being better or worse or being as good. It's just that why are you not the same as somebody else? And that's because we're all different. So number 1 is people compare themselves, which they should not be doing. You can look at somebody else for motivation and follow somebody who has a similar physique as you, maybe to see what you could look like, but you're never going to look like somebody else. You'll never ever be like them. Okay, you are your own person. Number 2 is something that a lot of people contact me on social media when they're asking for help with their diet and stuff. They are about to perform this mistake, and they're about to experience this and commit this mistake. And what it is basically, it is trying to go on a cut when you are skinny fat, or for lack of better words, aren't big enough. So what that means is that it's somebody who comes to me who, they're like 5'11", 6 foot, they weigh like 150, 160, they haven't worked out yet, they don't have visible abs, they aren't quite, like fat but skinny, it's like right in that middle. We all know what this term is, and they want to go on a cut because they want to have abs, and they're like, well, I know I'm not out of shape, but I'm also not jacked, but I should be able to have abs. That's a mistake there, is that you have to build a foundation first before you can try and show that foundation off. So this is a mistake that's made, honestly, I think more than my next point, because it's so common. But you're not going to be able to just cut down from that, right? You have to build a foundation. You have to train your body to have that metabolism speed up and to really even be able to lose the weight that you want to lose in the long run. So now moving on to number 3, that goes into some of the next one, which I feel like people do the whole skinny fat trying to cut thing more than this one. Number 3 is trying to over bulk or dirty bulk. Now, take this from myself. There's this mentality that you have to, eat big to get big, and yes, you do, okay? You have to be in a calorie surplus to grow, and if you want to cut, you have to be in a calorie deficit. Those are just the 2 rules of how it works in fitness when it comes to gaining weight or losing weight. However, when it comes to both, you do not have to be so extreme. And so let's focus on why you should not be dirty bulking or trying to over bulk. You really only need to eat about, at most, 500 over your maintenance calories to gain, lean muscle tissue. And any other calories after that, really, unless you have a very, very fast metabolism, it's really just excess, and you're just gonna get more and more fluffy and put on more body fat. And this gives people the illusion that they're getting bigger, and I myself went through this. I experienced it. I thought I was getting, bigger and bigger, and I was to an extent. I mean, I started bulking really, really hard at a very young age. So, around 17, I was eating about 10,000 calories a day, and I didn't gain body fat for 2 years. It took a long time, but eventually I did, and it hit hard, and I gained quite a bit of body fat. As you guys know, I weighed at 225. So, you know, it does catch up to you as you get older. And so when you're younger, sure, why not? Go for it. If you have a metabolism for it and, you know, you're like 15, 16, I 100% will support a kid who just wants to eat as much as possible, okay? Because if you started off, you know, like me, on the thinner side and, you know, weighing around like 160, 150 at like 6 foot, it's okay to want to stuff your face and go crazy, because at that rate, you know, if you're in school, your activity's a lot higher because you're walking from class to class, you probably are in sports, you know, you're probably more active just because you're younger and you have more energy. So your calorie, you know, maintenance calories and your, you know, surplus are probably going to be a lot higher than somebody who, say, is 25, you know, who just works out, you know, four days a week and wants to gain size. So go ahead and, you know, do what you need to do, but for the general public, do not dirty bulk, okay? Find what your maintenance calories are, go up by, you know, 250. If that doesn't work, then go ahead and increase by 500, and you'll be good to go with going ahead and putting on lean muscle tissue. Number 4 is a very, very important one, and I have these in descending order just because, you know, I do feel like number 1 is don't compare. You know, next is you gotta be able to not try and cut when you're skinny fat, and then also don't overbulk. Now, number 4, the reason why this is not higher is because if you guys noticed, the first thing is a mental thing that I noted. The next 2 after that, you know, trying to cut when you're skinny fat and trying to dirty bulk, those are both diet things. Diet is way more important than training. That's why those 2 things take precedent over this next thing. Number 4 is not progressively overloading. So what this means is over time, increasing the weight or the load, right? Or increasing reps. So you have to, somehow you have to take the stimulus that you're giving your body and you have to make it more and more challenging, or else your body will have no reason to want to change. And this change normally comes into play with more muscle tissue or more strength. You're not going to get there if you just keep doing the same weight for the same reps every single week. So you have to progressively overload. And most people don't do this. They just go in and they get a pump and they move on. And let me tell you something, I did that for quite a long time. And when you're first starting off, yeah, okay, you can go in and get a pump and it's going to be great. But if you're not increasing the weight over time, eventually just going for a pump won't work, okay? So you have to progressively overload. Now, my 5th and final point ties directly into this, and that is getting on a strength program. Most people do not do this, okay? Just like they don't progressively overload, they do not get on a strength program. And that's why they don't progressively overload, because when you're just going in there and just doing whatever, it's so easy to not know what you're doing, like to not know how much weight you just did for how many reps. Because you just go in, just, you know, do like half the stack for 5 reps, and then you drop that down by 2, and then you do that for 7 reps, and then you drop that down by 2, and then you do that for 8 or 10, and then you rest, and then you forget about it all, you know? So it's so common to just not know what you're doing in the gym. There's not a lot of guidance. I mean, there's not a coach when you go to the gym. When you play football or play a sport, there's a coach for a reason to make sure you know what the hell you're doing. So when it comes to, you know, the whole thing is that number 5 is, once again, having a strength program. So, you know, I run David Lade's old push-pull legs one that he had back in like 2016, I think. And it's been working out great for me the last like 2 or 3 years. And you know, there's plenty of other great ones out there. That program was free, okay? It was in the video description of one of his videos, and I just snagged it. And it just gave me an idea on like how to properly program. Now, that's a powerlifting strength program. There are other programs, like there's a bodybuilding program, there's CrossFit, you know, there's a lot of other programs that you can run, but I personally think that everybody should run at least once in their life, at least try and run a strength program. Especially when you're first starting off, because you need to track your strength. Strength does correlate to more gains, just like more gains correlates to strength, but I really feel like people should focus more on strength, and then the gains will follow, because when you first start off, that's like the easiest thing to do, is just to build your strength and build muscle. And then later on, when you realize that there's only so much muscle you can build naturally, then you're like, oh shit, now I want to focus on my strength, but I'm already like 6 years in, and it's a lot harder. In the end, you're probably gonna wanna switch over and get stronger anyways, because you're gonna max out the muscle for your body. So focus on a strength program, okay? And that'll help you progressively overload. And that right there was number 5. There you guys have it. Those are my top 5 mistakes that people make when they're first getting into fitness. Solutions to solve them. You know, this was just to kind of let you guys see what I'm knowledgeable on and to kind of give my own opinion. Now, obviously, there's going to be other mistakes that people make as well, like form and, you know, supplements and stuff like that, right? You know, there's plenty of supplements out there that are just bullshit and some that are actually really great. So these are my top 5 that I wanted to go over, because when you first go to the gym, do all 5 of these when you first start if you don't have guidance, okay? Hey guys, I just wanted to kind of go over those 5 things. I've been rambling, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed this, and I will see you guys in the next video. See ya.